In the previous episode, we discussed the 12 different search algorithms offered by the algorithm header of the standard library. These algorithms allow you to search through an iterator range for both single values and specific subsequences, and are hence great for containers that do not offer their own search algorithms, such as the standard vector, the list, and the DQ. However, if your data is in a container that does have its own search functions, like the different maps or sets, or even the standard string, you'll find that these are often faster and easier to use. That's why in this episode we are going to dig into these algorithms. As always, there are timestamps for the different algorithms in the description in case you want to skip ahead. We'll start with the map and set algorithms. While maps represent a collection of key value pairs, like name and age, the sets just represent a bag of keys. Multimaps and multisets allow duplicate keys. Map, multimap, set and multiset all keep their keys sorted internally and use the less than operation to find elements. Unordered map and unordered set are, as the name suggests, unordered and use hashing internally to provide constant time lookup. The algorithms we'll discuss today are available for all of these containers, with the exception of the lower bound and upper bound algorithm, which are only available for the sorted containers. We'll explain why when we get there. We'll demonstrate the different functions using a map and a multimap. But again, the same functions are also available for the other map and set types. We'll start simple, with the count function. It simply returns the number of items with an equivalent key. As such, you can use count to quickly check if a key is in your container by comparing the result to 0. If you have C+20, there's a more direct way to check if your key exists. The contains function. Contains returns a boolean indicating whether or not there's a key equivalent to your search key. If you want to actually operate on the values in your map, you can also search for the key using a find function. Similar to the standard find function found in the algorithm header, it returns an iterator. But there are some subtle differences to keep in mind. Standard find uses equality, whereas the find from the map or set containers uses equivalence in their comparisons. This usually amounts to the same thing, but as explained in the previous video, this is not always the case when you use custom comparison operators for your containers. When using standard find, you are guaranteed to be returned the first occurrence of the element you're searching for. However, when you use the find function on a multimap or multiset, an iterator to any of the matching elements may be returned. There's no guarantee that this is the first matching element. If you want to retrieve the full range of matching elements, you can use the equal range function. Equal range returns a pair of iterators that together represent the range of elements with equivalent keys. Here I'm using C+17's structured bindings to both declare start and end, as well as assign the first and second element of the returned pair to them. If you don't have C+17 available, you can of course also retrieve the pair separately. Note that, similar to the equal range function of the algorithm's header, the equivalent range returned by it is defined as the range of elements starting from the first element not less than the search element, up till the first element greater than the search element. In particular, this means that if you search for a value that is not present in a range, which is the case for the map M, the start and end iterator will be the same, but they may be different from the end iterator of the container. As such, if you want to check whether the range is empty, compare start to end, not start to the end iterator of the container itself. You can, of course, use these iterators to, for example, loop over all the matched elements. For sorted containers, that is, the map, multimap, set and multiset, the lower bound and upper bound functions can be used to find the start and end iterators of this range separately. They can be useful if you want to find out where to insert the next element, either just before or just after the range of equivalent keys. The reason why these functions don't exist for unordered map and unordered set is because the notion of a lower bound or upper bound doesn't make sense if there is no order. It also doesn't work well with the hashing strategy used by such containers. To summarize, count and contains can be used to check if an element exists, and if so, how many. Find can be used to find a single element, while equal range can be used to find all the matching elements. For ordered containers, there are the lower bound and upper bound functions, which return an iterator to the first element not less than, and the first element greater than the matching element respectively. As these functions have been optimized for their container, they are often a bit faster than the equally named functions from the algorithm header. Now let's have a look at the container, of which we usually forget that it is actually a container. The standard string. In many ways, the standard string acts as a container of characters. It has a begin and end member, and if you dereference an iterator, you get a character. just like you would for a vector of characters. Just like the maps and sets, it offers a find function, which you can use to find a single element. In other words, a character. And just like the standard find, it will return the first matching character. However, in contrast to the standard find or the find functions of the maps and sets, this find does not return an iterator. Instead, it returns an index. This also means that if you search for an element that does not exist, it can't return an end iterator. So instead, the standard string class returns the special nPos value. But there's more that makes the find function of the string class special. While the find of the map class can only be used to look for a single element, the find of the string class is somewhat of a find on steroids, as it has overloads defined that help you look for complete substrings. Aside from passing a string literal or a character pointer, you can also pass other strings or the combination of a character pointer and a size. This last overload is especially useful when you have a character pointer that is not null terminated. Aside from the whole returning an index instead of an iterator, these overloads act just like a standard search. They return the first occurrence of the substring. You could say that the find function of the string class acts both as a standard find and a standard search. That being said, the string find is highly optimized to work with the internal representation used by the string class. As such, you'll find that you get better performance from this function than from the standard find and standard search algorithms. Next to that, they are also just more convenient to use, so it's good to be familiar with them. Just like there are different variations of the standard find and search algorithms, there are also different variations of the find function of the string class. First, we have rfind, which is the reverse find function, and as such returns the index of the last occurrence of your character or substring. Rfind, as well as other search functions of the string class, support the same set of overloads as find, so you can use it with a single character, as well as with strings and character pointers. Find first of can be used to find the first character that is also present in the search string. Here I'm using it to find the first vowel in the hello world string. Similarly, find last of can be used to find the last character that's also present in the search string. Lastly, there are find first not of and find last not of. As you probably expected, they can be used to find the first or last character that is not part of the search string. Similar to find, all these functions return nPos if there's no such character. In summary, we can check whether a character or substring exists by comparing the output of find to nPos. We can find out where the last or first occurrences are using find and rfind. And we can find any of the characters in a given string using the find first and find last of style functions. Now, as a little bonus, there's one more function coming our way in CU+23. Just like the maps and sets, strings will get their own contains function, allowing you to check whether a substring exists without having to compare to nPos. It just makes the code slightly more expressive and easier to read. With that, we have now discussed all the different search algorithms from the standard library. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something new. If you did, leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.